Kurt with Artisanal Brewworks, talking about White in the Glasses Wit. I'm going to tell you about the beer style, the beer name, the label design, and then I'm going to finish with the tasting. Wit. What does wit mean? In Flemish, wit means white. Why white? It's because of the creamy head and also the lighter colored beer. Why is it like that? It's because of the grains that we use. 50% of a wit beer is typically wheat. And why was it wheat? It historically was most popular east of Brussels, Belgium, and that was what was available to the farmers out there. That's what grew really well. They had a lot of wheat, they had a lot of oats, and they had a lot of malted grains. So that's what this beer has in it. So 50% of this 50% of this beer is wheat, which is true to style. Lower ABV beer. Ours is a 4.6% ABV. And actually two things that make this unique. One, the yeast. We use a strain that gives a little bit of haze, so it's kind of like the original hazy beer. And that wit yeast puts off some nice spicy characteristics, and that you'd also notice on the nose. So as true with most Belgian beers, the beer is about what the yeast brings to the table in terms of flavors and aromas. The other unique characteristic with this beer is that it uses orange peel and coriander. Why did they use orange peel and coriander? This is a historical beer, meaning that it was made for a long time, and it was made before hops were predominantly used in making beer. So they used orange peel and coriander and found that made a really great tasting beer. Other styles use other spices, and that's okay. You're not stuck with this is exactly what you need to do. You can have fun with it. So I'll give you a couple commercial examples where you can get a sense of that. Hoegaarden, which is widely available, as well as Blue Moon, and then Allagash White, and then ours. So we all have our own little take on it. It doesn't mean anyone's right or wrong, because where you're in Belgium and you try different Belgian whites, they're all going to have different flavors because everybody has their own spin on it. That's why I like this beer. So that's the beer style. Now, as far as the name, White in the Glasses Wit, that ties into our original tap handle, and here is one of the original tap handles. You'll notice that it has our logo, but it was black, and it had the name inside. And the problem was you really couldn't see from a distance. You wouldn't be able to see our name, and we are new at that point, and we wanted someone to be able to recognize the brewery name right away because they didn't know the logo at that point. So we did a redesign, and this is what we ended up with. And so we pulled the name out of the hop beard, made that green, which is what we really wanted anyways, and we were trying to decide whether to print this out with white in the glasses or without. Clearly we went with the white in the glasses, and while we were texting back and forth, I was down at the guy that was doing the printing onto the tap handles, and we were looking at prototypes, and I was texting back and forth with Colin and Dan, a couple of folks that work here at the brewery with me, and we were talking about what do you like better, the white in the glasses or the one without, and then we said we like white in the glasses, and we just figured out what we're going to name our wit, White in the Glasses Wit. So ties into our logo. So there's the beer name. The label itself, this label is designed to look good not in the tap room and not on Instagram. It's designed to look good when it's on a shelf at a Price Shopper, Hannaford, beverage centers, because the white makes it pop versus the other crazy can artwork that most breweries do. So that's the label. And then last thing is I'm going to do a tasting of this. You typically would serve this in a tulip glass, as you see. Temperatures in the 40 to 45. You do that because it makes the flavors taste better. I know in the States here that most people serve these around 34, so you're not going to get to enjoy the flavors as much. If you really want to try what the style is supposed to really taste like, warm it up a little bit. Now the body, it's supposed to be lighter bodied. It's not supposed to be a heavy beer. It is 4.6% ABV. It's supposed to have some yeasty characteristics on the nose, as well as the spices, so you get that combination of two. And then those flavors is what you're supposed to taste as well. It's supposed to have some yeasty characteristics because that's what the Belgian style beers typically have. It's a yeast that brings flavors to the table. The Belgian wheat yeast does that, and then also the spices, of course. There's no bitterness on this. You get a little bit of that orange peel, and then you taste a little bit of the malt characteristics, that little bit of the wheat characteristic on there. And it's just a real pleasant beer to drink on a hot summer day, but as I say, any day is a good day to drink a craft beer. So it's your turn. Come on in and give it a try. Cheers.